Ladies and gentlemen, good day and welcome to NMDC Limited Q3 FY23 results conference call hosted by ICICI Securities. As a reminder, all participant lines will be in the listen-only mode, and there will be an opportunity for you to ask questions after the presentation concludes. Should you need assistance during the conference call, please signal an operator by pressing star then 0 on your touchtone phone. Please note that this conference is being recorded. I now hand the conference over to Mr. Amit Dixit from ICICI Securities. Thank you, and over to you, sir.
Yeah. Hi. Good afternoon, everyone. On behalf of ICICI Securities, I welcome all of you for NMDC's Q3 FY23 earnings call. At the outset, I would like to thank the management for giving us an opportunity to host this call. From management side, today we have Mr. Sumit Deb, CMD, and Mr. Amitava Mukherjee, Director of Finance. We will begin with brief opening remarks from the management, post which we will open the call for an interactive Q&A. Thanks, and over to you, sir.
Yeah. Good afternoon, Amit. You are able to hear me?
Yes, sir. Please proceed.
Okay. So, thank you ICICI Security for having us on the Concall, and thank all the participants. Good afternoon, a very good afternoon to all of you. If you look at our performance in the quarter, so we have done, we did around 10.6 million tons, which was supposed to be, which is the best ever quarter for NMDC. The sales were around 10 million tons. The turnover 3,700 crores. Obvious reasons has been a dip in the turnover, EBITDAs, the PAT. There are substantial dips. But if you look at the whole year as a 9 months also, there has been a touch of volatility in this whole year. If you look at the Q2 performance, I mean Q2 there was a dip in prices, demand. The steel industry also was not doing very great. So to that extent, if you factor in all that, then the results are, I mean, the way we have proceeded going forward. I mean, if you look at the international prices now from Q3 and what we have seen in Q3 and in Jan Feb, we are seeing a pickup in prices, international prices. The Chinese have resumed buying of Australian ore, and we see the prices, and that is reflected in the prices. As far as an NMDC is concerned, we have been making substantial investments in our infrastructure, our equipments, and going forward, and also in our process, digitization process and digitalization. So these are things which we have invested in, and we going forward, we look at, we definitely see there's a lot of positives in this, and then there's going to be an expansion in our mines, and to that extent our volumes also are will be reflected in our volumes also. So, we are very positive in Q3 and Q4 specifically, and believe things will be turn out to be good. Yes, Amit.
So should we open up for questions?
Yes, please.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, we will now begin with the question and answer session. Anyone wishing to ask a question may please press star and 1 on your touchtone telephone. If you wish to remove yourself from the question queue, you may press star and 2. Participants are requested to use handsets while asking a question. Ladies and gentlemen, we will wait for a moment while the question queue assembles. The first question is from the line of Sumangal Nevatia from Kotak Securities. Please go ahead.
Good afternoon, and thank you for the opportunity. First is on the volumes growth outlook. Just want to understand what all projects are we working on for easing the logistic bottlenecks, and what sort of volume uptake can we see from these projects in terms of iron ore sales in the coming, say, medium term in next 1 to 2 years?
If you look at our logistics and the way we would intend to increase volumes, our intention to increase volumes in the next couple of years. First is we are the railway line, KK line has been doubled almost. I mean, there are just 20-25% is the balance work which is left. So that doubling work is more or less over, and up to that's up to Jagdalpur. And then the railways are themselves doing the work from Vizag to Jagdalpur. So that also is proceeding in a good pace, and things are looking. So that will almost double the capacity of this KK line. So that is one thing. The other is the pipeline also, which is work is proceeding, and we have already that is up to Jagdalpur. That's 135 kilometers of pipeline, which we are slurry pipeline which we are laying. So both this put together, I think we should be able to increase it. They should take care of to enhance the capacity to almost 70 million tons, 75 million tons. We should be able to go from the current levels. So I think there's not much of in that sense. Going forward, I think we should be able to do all these, complete these projects, and ensure that the pipeline work gets completed as quickly as possible.
Okay, so any particular steel project or anything which will cater to, because I mean, at least all the large steel companies, their captive production is increasing, so our dependence on secondary sector is likely to increase, and that particular segment of the industry is not growing. So, I mean, today also our capacity is around 45-50 million tons, but we are struggling to cross 40 million tons as far as sales volumes are concerned. So, I mean, in the next 2-3 years, I mean, do you see our addressable market shrinking?
No, not at all. No, absolutely not. So if you look at, we have the Nagarnar steel plant, which will be totally dependent, though it has been hived off, but then the sourcing is entirely from NMDC. So that is one. Number two is if you look at the AMNNS pellet plant at Vizag, they are also doubling the capacity of the pellet plant. So they will also be coming up. They'll have that additional requirement. We also understand, obviously, there is a pellet plant which will also come up, an NMDC pellet plant, which is also there at 2 million tons. The capacity of the JSW, Dolvi, so all these players, they are also increasing the capacity. Raipur, we don't see too much increase in the secondary sector. That's a Lampur segment, basically the Lampur segment. We don't see too much of an enhancement in capacity is there, but then that is not a matter of concern for us. The other very important thing is with exports opening up, also there is an opportunity for us to export from Visakhapatnam or from Krishnapatnam. So these are avenues obviously which we will explore. Less than 58 grade is something which we would like to, going forward, we would like to also exploit. So we don't see too much of an issue there.
Got it. So just a follow-up. So Nagarnar steel plant, till the time the dedicated iron ore mine doesn't come, till that time we'll be supplying from our existing Bailadila sector.
So Nagarnar steel plant doesn't have a dedicated iron ore mine. So it is entirely, it will be entirely, so the sourcing will be entirely from NMDC currently.
Okay, I thought there's a mine under JV which we are developing with Chhattisgarh government.
So that's the merchant mine. That's a separate, which is under NCL, NMDC CMDC Limited. That's the 149 joint venture, and which is deposit 13, deposit 4, and deposit 1. There are 3 months. So we should see deposit 4 also coming up very quickly. But then those are all merchant mines, and they are not. They don't have any linkages. Obviously, linkages are there, but they are not dedicated.
Understood. So that's helpful. So second question on this Nagarnar steel plant, as per the article.
Sorry to interrupt, Mr. Sumangal. May we request that you return to the question queue? There are participants waiting for their turn.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Ashish Kejriwal from Nuvama Institutional Equities. Please go ahead.
Yeah, hi. Good morning, everyone. So 2 questions from my side. One is why we are, lacking in volume growth, because in 9 months also, or even in 10 months, we are still down on a YY basis. So what is the particular reason for that? And are we able to see the growth in next 2 months? That's one. And second is steel plant, when we are going to commission it, and as well as what government has earlier said that NMDC can have 10% stake in that steel plant. So what's the status on that? Thank you.
So first question first is the one is about the growth in sales on a Y-on-Y basis. If you look at the previous financial year, I mean, it was an exceptional year for the industry, steel industry, and for the mining sector as a whole. So that's a one-off, could be called as a thing. So, but then we are looking at volumes, and Q2 there was a drop in volumes. I mean, even the industry didn't do well. The steel industry also. So there was some drop there, and then the monsoons were a little exceptional, and we should be able to touch the quarter last year's volumes. That's our target. I mean, definitely we would like to ensure that at least the last year's volumes are intact. So that is one thing. And then the other thing is about the Nagarnar steel plant. The target is to ensure that it gets commissioned by 31st of March. Our coke oven batteries are already done. I mean, they are already producing coke. The sinter plant is about to start, and the blast furnace is ready. So more or less, I think we are prepared to start commissioning activities in the next financial year, beginning of the next financial year.
Sir, what about that 10% which government has asked NMDC to take part in?
Yes. So that's there. That's what has been mentioned. So
we have to take that 10% stake in that.
Yes.
And sir, when is the listing coming in steel plant?
So listing should be end of this month. We should be having the listing process.
Okay. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Pallav Agarwal from Antique Stock Broking Limited. Please go ahead.
Yeah, good afternoon, sir. So I had a question on the royalty expenses. So this quarter, you've seen almost more than doubling in Q3 compared to Q2. So whereas our production of iron ore really hasn't gone up, and realizations also are sequentially more or less flat. So, so is there so can you just explain why this has gone up so much?
Amita, we can take that.
Yeah, sure. I'll explain that. You see, the royalty is, there are 2 features. One, it is based on an ad valorem rate, and the second, that it is based on production, whether you sell it or not. So if you see, the production in Q2 was 71 lakh ton, and Q3 it is 106 lakh ton. So that's an increase of around 50% as compared to the Q2. So that is the primary reason, and also because the rates were coming down at this point. So because we value royalty at 3 months earlier rates, but the rates are published. So the rates that were published were slightly higher than the rates at which we sold. So this will get utilized in Q4. But the main reason is the additional production of 50% from 71 lakh ton to around 106 lakh ton.
Sure, sir. And also, if you could just give us, what are the capex? What capex do we expect to spend this year and next year, given that now the steel plant capex will not be there on our books?
Yeah,
okay. This year, along with the steel plant, we will do around 3,500 crores. Excluding the steel plant, it will be around 2,000 crores or around anything between 1,800 crores to 2,000 crores. Next year, we are planning around 15 to 1,600 crores of capex, excluding the steel plant. NSL, of course, is a different story.
Sure, sir. So just finally on our interest cost, why do we have, still about 30 crores of interest?
Project and the third screening plant in Kirandul. These are the two big ones that we have. Each of the projects are more than about 3,000 and 4,000 crores each. So these are and where contracts have been awarded mostly. These are work in progress. So major expenditure is going to come in those two packages.
Sure, sir. So just on the interest cost.
Agarwal, may we request that you return to the question queue? There are participants waiting for their turn.
Okay.
Thank you. We'll move on to the next question. That is on the line of Mohammed Farooq from Pearl Capital. Please go ahead.
Good morning. Thank you for the opportunity. My question is, now 70% of NMDC revenue comes from three major clients. What if these clients get their own mines? NMDC does not export now. There was an export ban last year, and NMDC got severely impacted even in top line and bottom line, even though we don't export. Current prices are around $120, and still NMDC is not exporting. At what rate do you think it is good to start exporting again?
So more or less, yes, and for example, RINL, that's the Visakhapatnam Steel Plant, JSW. So they have been our major clients. And coming to your question of with regarding to these people having their own mines, yes, they have their own mines, and they are having them for the last 1 year or so. So it didn't make a difference to us. So to that extent, we do not feel any, we do not have any impact. I mean, their offtake of iron ore has remained the same. Having mentioned that, you also said spoke about exports. Exports is an option which we have not been looking at. Yes, for the last obvious reasons because the domestic industry was having a requirement. But we are currently looking at exports, and we will definitely, I mean, $120 or anything above that is definitely viable for us, and we'll take this opportunity to export. We have already making arrangements, and we'll export either from Visakhapatnam or from Krishnapatnam. So that is something which is on our target. So we'll do that.
So we will see some exports in the fourth quarter?
Absolutely. In fourth quarter, yes, end of the fourth quarter, we could see some exports happening, yes.
Okay. One more thing, minority shareholders mainly, invest in PSU due to the dividends. This time we have only got 3.75. We see there's more than 30 rupees per share in the books, cash available. A bit disappointed. Why do you think that there is 8,000 crores still in the hand cash? What is the main reason for that? Can you please justify that 8,000 crores still left after the dividends?
So we have declared an interim dividend. Going forward, we'll have a look at that. I mean, that is an option which is always open. Amitabh, you would like to add something in that?
My main concern is why there's 8,000 crores, keeping in the books. That's the question.
No, I got your point. Amitabh, you would like to add on to this? Yeah, we have declared an interim dividend, and
I understand that, but
yeah.
Since you have more than 30 rupees.
We are aware. The board has taken a decision to on the dividend part. So we are yet to come to an end this year. We could see something happening.
Now my question is there a major reason to hold 8,000 crores in cash in hand? That's the question. Is there any major, is there a plan for buybacks or something like that, or anything?
You can't answer the question at this point of time. I can't answer this at this point of time.
Okay. One more question, last.
Sorry to interrupt, Mr. Farooq. Sir, may we request that you return to the question queue? There are participants waiting for their turn.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Prashant Kumar Kota from Emkay Global. Please go ahead.
Sir, good afternoon and thanks for the opportunity and congrats for the good set of results. I have two questions. The first question is,
Sorry,
sir, in the past,
your audio is not clear, Mr. Kumar.
Is it better now?
Sir, slightly.
Hello?
Please
Hello?
Yeah, better. Please go ahead.
Yes, sir. Good afternoon, sir, and thanks for the opportunity and congrats for good set of numbers. And dividend is also slightly on the higher side versus what we would have been expecting. So that's on the results and dividend. Sir, in the past, if you remember in our conversations, we were like, we were not big fans of your steel asset, and we have written extensively on that also. So now with changing times and with changing circumstances, so now our thought, just wanted to know your thoughts on this. Is it not a good idea to set up some smaller modular value-added plants like, let's say, pellets, and which has a very good export market compared to the regular steel and good realizations as well. Just wanted to know your thoughts on the same.
You are absolutely right. And we are also in the process. So we have, of course, in the past, we have put up smaller plants, the one at Donimalai, and then which was basically for trying to utilize the slimes and the low grade ore, very low grade ore. So that was just an experimental basis. But then the one at pellet plant, which is coming up, 2 million tons. If you look at the industry standard, that is also very small plant. But we are in the process and of discussion, and we will put up a pellet plant either somewhere at Visakhapatnam or nearabouts. Going forward. So that is something which is there in our mind, and since we will be expanding our capacity, so it makes sense for us to get into this value addition area. Yes.
Understood, sir. Thanks, sir. Thanks for the color. So my second question is, sir, in the previous quarter, was there any higher cost beginning inventory, higher royalty paid beginning inventory, because of which our profitability was lower? So QOQ, the jump is handsome, which is good. But then in the previous quarter, was there something over there, sir?
Yeah, I won't believe that there would be some higher royalty. So that won't be there. But then the prices, if you were in Q2 and Q3, the prices were really. It was only at the end of Q3 when we have seen an uptick in prices, whether it is steel or iron ore or the international prices. So things are improving now, and we should see better days ahead.
Okay, sir. Sure, sir. Thanks for the opportunity, and wish you all the best.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Kirtan Mehta from BOB Capital Markets. Please go ahead. Mr. Mehta, your line is in the talk mode. Please go ahead.
Thank you, sir, for giving this opportunity. Could you run through the actual capex spend on the major projects those are undertaken and what's pending? Also, if you can give us sort of the color on the physical progress of project as well. I'm referring to the Bacheli mine, slurry pipeline, as well as the screening plant at Kirandul, and also the coal blocks.
So the major project is the slurry pipeline and the screening plant at Kirandul. So these are the two major projects which we are having, and the pellet plant which is coming up at Jagdalpur. So all these put together, this were in our phase 1 plan, and most of the work has been awarded, and things are on line to for execution. I mean, most of it is, and L&T is doing this work, so whether it's the pellet plant or the slurry pipelines, things are progressing satisfactorily. Now we should look at going forward in the phase 2 of the pipeline from Jagdalpur to Visakhapatnam. So that's now under consideration, and we are also putting up a screening plant at SP2 in Donimalai. So which is also now we are obtaining clearances for that. So that also will be there.
Right. Second question was about what would be the FY24 target for production and sales? Would you be able to give us a color on this based on the growth that is coming through?
So this year, we should, the growth will be more or less flat. But going forward, our target is to do at least 50 million tons in the next financial year, which is something which is in our mind. And the necessary infrastructure also, the doubling getting completed. I would believe that things should work out for us. So 50 million tons is something which we will keep in mind for the next year, financial year. But
so that means around 10 million ton growth is what we are looking at year on year in next financial year. And what would be the key projects which will contribute to this?
So Donimalai, if you look at Kumaraswamy, we are moving from 7 to 10 there. So the additional 3 million tons will be there from the Karnataka sector. And the balance 6-7 million tons will come from Baladila sector. So our fifth line we have an additional line which is coming up in Bacheli screening plant. So that will add on volumes. So to that extent, I think 50 million tons is definitely achievable, and we will work on that in the direction.
Thank you, sir. Thanks for this detail.
Thank you. The next question is on the line of Vikas Singh from Phillip Capital. Please go ahead.
Good afternoon, sir.
Yeah, good afternoon. Yes.
Sir, I just want to understand our 10% stake purchase in NMDC Steel. So is it a cash purchase or how we are doing it? And what's the cash balance at the end of 9 months?
So the cash balance is around 8,000 crores. And the other part of it is the 10%, yes, it will need to purchase it.
So it's a cash. It would be a cash purchase. So any pricing has been determined, or how it is going to be discovered?
It will be a market determined pricing.
So only after stock will be get listed and the price discovery happens, then you have to pay 10% equivalent to that.
Yeah, because that plant is under this divestment also.
Understood. Understood. And sir, my second question pertains to our target of 50 million ton or more for next year. I understand that our slurry pipeline would still come after 1.5 year, and railway would may take another 6 to 8 months. So an additional 6 to 7 million tons from Bacheli, which you are talking about, how we would be planning this evacuation, because this would, if anything would come, it would come at the fag end of FY24.
So what happens is that we are still not getting the benefit of the doubling which is happening. So next year things should be much better. So to that extent, the logistics should improve. Also, we are in discussion with railways to increase the capacity, the number of rakes. So currently we just have 15 to 16 rakes which we are loading. So we intend to almost double this loading, because we have the capacity to load. Only thing is that railways availability of rakes from railways, given their constraints in terms of coal loading. So that's in we are in discussion. So I would think that is loading from our side is not at all a problem. Only thing that, and the rail line capacity is there. Only thing is that once the number of rakes improve, which we hopefully from the next financial year should happen, achieving that those volumes is not at all an issue.
Understood, sir. That's all from my side.
Thank you. The next question is on the line of Satyadeep Jain from Ambit Capital. Please go ahead.
Hi, thank you for the opportunity. A couple of questions. Just a lot of questions around pellet. The first question is on the different possibilities the company may explore. Pellet is one. There are other producers also looking at having their own sponge iron plants. Is that something you could possibly look at, or would you say, no, we've already divested steel and we are not looking at anything outside of these minerals that we already have? That's the first question.
So pellet is something which definitely on our table, and we are looking at pellet production and manufacturing, whether it is at Visakhapatnam or somewhere near about. We will definitely look at this opportunity. We will, and we would like to put up a bigger capacity of the pellet plant. So it gives us an option to either export it or sell it in domestic. That's something which is there on our cards.
Sponge iron?
No, not sponge iron. No, we don't intend to get into sponge iron. So pellet is something because what happens is with pellet, you get to utilize the low grade ore also. So that helps us in utilizing the low grade ore and the slimes from the mines. So utilize that and make pellets. So that is something which we are looking at.
Okay. So second question is on the other projects. So one is coal. Can you talk about your strategy for coal? What kind of capex you're looking at, and what kind of footprint would you look at in coal customers? And secondly, I believe I heard it. I'm not sure if I heard it correct, but you mentioned you'll also possibly look at lower grade iron ore in future. In that context, a few miners, global miners, are talking about value over volume and looking at higher grade products in future given decarbonization trend. In that context, how do you look at the increased production of low grade, less than 58% Fe content iron ore in future? So just a couple of questions tied up on coal and then lower grade iron ore.
So coal is there are two mines which have been allocated to us. One was the Tokisud coal block, and the other is the Rone one, which has some amount of coking coal also. So, but then there's an investment of a washery there. So we are pursuing clearances which are very difficult to get by, especially in the state of Jharkhand, and the land acquisition part of it, which is so that is we are pursuing that. So once we get the entire land in our possession, then we go ahead and get into coal production. So that is about coal. Low grade iron ore, there are various opportunities. Either you upgrade them, and then you need to, because we are putting up with this dry beneficiation circuit in Kirandul and Bache, both dry and wet beneficiation process. So this will help us to upgrade the ore and then transport it on the slurry through the slurry pipeline. So currently we have it up to, we are awarded contracts up to, the whole process has been cleared up to Jabalpur, and then going forward from Jabalpur to Visakhapatnam, we will intend to go into that in the phase 2. So that low grade ore will be utilized, and balance will be exported. We'll have to look at exports as such.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Devang from ICICI Securities. Please go ahead.
Good afternoon, sir, and thank you for the opportunity. Most of my questions have been answered. Just one question left. I just wanted to know any tentative date for NMDC steel listing, at what stage we are currently. Are all the approvals received or something pending on that side?
So what I had mentioned is end of this month. So it should happen very quickly.
Right, sir. Okay, sir. Thank you, sir, and all the best.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. The next question is on the line of Rahul Jain from Systematic. Please go ahead.
Yeah, hello, sir. Thank you for taking my question. So firstly, on the slurry pipeline, we said it's a 15 million ton line from Bacheli to Nagarnar. and we are setting up a pellet plant also over there. So the pellet plant is under NMDC or it is under NMDC Steel? And by when do we expect this slurry pipeline to get ready?
So the pellet plant is under NMDC. It is with NMDC. So it is not a part of the disinvestment process. It is under NMDC, and the slurry pipeline should be there somewhere later next year. At the end of next year.
What is the size of this pellet plant?
Pellet plant is 2 million tons, and slurry pipeline is a 15 million ton pipeline.
So what will we do with the balance of the capacity we will have? So it is for customer acquisition. I mean, why do we have put up such a large pipeline?
So you see, we also have a joint venture with NMDC CMDC Limited, which has got deposit 13, deposit 4. So that was a deliberate attempt to put up a larger capacity of a pipeline and see that we could be utilized at a later date.
Right. So, sir, also on the steel plant, we said it will get commissioned by say April of this year. So, have you set any volume targets over there, or how should we look at the ramp up there?
So technically, we are just looking at commissioning the plant at this point of time. I mean, because the plant is now. I mean, if you look at our capabilities on the ground there. In terms of Mecon, which is who are our consultant, they are helping us commission the plant. So we are not looking at currently trying to safely commission the plant. That's our target, and then we'll see ramping up of the production.
Right. Thanks. And so lastly, also, is it possible to scale up this plant to 6 million? I think there's a confusion over there. Yeah, no problem. Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, there is a possibility of scaling up the plant. There is the scope of definitely scope of increasing capacity there.
Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah.
Thank you. The next question is on the line of Saket Kapoor from Kapoor Company. Please go ahead.
Yeah, namaskar sir, and thank you for the opportunity. Sir, firstly, if you could give us some color on the losses we are booking on the pellet, other minerals and services line items. And for the 9 months, this has gone up from last year 49 crore to 105 crore. If you could give some color on the same, and what steps are we taking for lowering the same? What are the factors, sir, firstly?
Amitabh, you are there? You can answer that.
Yeah, I'm there. Yeah, if you pellet plant actually has made a loss of around 58 crores in the 9 months. But once the capacity actually increases to around 60%, this loss will be wiped off. As you know that the pellet plant is designed for slimes and not for fines. So it will take a little time for us to get this on track. Panna, of course, we have made a loss of around 49 crores in the first 9 months. And as you know that, as you are aware that we have got the wildlife clearance from Panna, and hopefully the production will start in a few months' time. So then Panna is taken care of. SIU, our sponge iron unit, that is obviously not functional now. We have made a loss of around 14 crores there in the 9 months. So we are trying for alternative use of that area, and we have other ideas for that. So hopefully then we'll be able to utilize. So all these three in about a year's time, I think we should be able to 6 months' time or about a year's time, we should be able to correct these anomalies that are currently there.
Sir, and also on the other income line item, I found there is a Q-on-Q the reduction. If you could explain the nature of the same, and I think so one stake sale on NINL profits have also been booked. So what is how is that line item treated? And also, sir, our investment in the JVs in other geographies of the world, how are they performing? If you could throw some light on the same.
Q2 we had booked actually 280 crores for NINL. One-time gain from our sale of NINL. It was valued at 100 crores. We got 380 crores. So the 280 crores was a net which was booked in Q2. So if you leave that around, the other income would have been 41 crores. And like to like, this time it is 63 crores. So there has been an increase overall if you leave the NINL part separately. So, and what was the question?
Sir, our investments in the international JVs and also in other geographies.
We have only one international JV right now which is functioning, that is Legacy. The investment till date in Legacy is around 240 crores till date. And the good thing about Legacy is that its market cap has increased from around $4.5 million about 3 years back. It is around $140 now, $140 million now. 120 to 100, it depends on what the share prices move, but the average would be around 120 to 140 million dollars. So it's this investment has actually paid off, and it is we are nearing the stage of mining in that subsidiary. We have ICVL, but we have a minority stake there of 26%, and the investment in ICVL till date, I'll just tell you, it is around 380 crores of investment in ICVL. It's a coking coal producing unit, but we have only 26%, and SAIL and RINL have the rest of the stake. And so that last year made profits, but traditionally it has made losses, depends on the sort of price movement on that. These are the two international ventures we have investments in.
So one small suggestion and then yeah, I'll come in the queue, madam. If I make the suggestion, sir, with your permission. Hello.
Mr. Kapoor, may we request that you return to the question queue? There are participants waiting.
जी madam, ठीक है.
Thank you so much, sir. The next question is from the line of Udit Gupta, an individual investor. Please go ahead.
Good afternoon, sir. Sir, my question is that, sir, regarding the capex that you just outlined, sir, you didn't give us a timeline, sir. By when can we expect the completion of most of it, sir?
So we are talking of the slurry pipeline and the screening plant. So both of them end of next year is what we are targeting.
The end of next calendar year?
Yes, yes, absolutely.
So that means 2024 ends, sir.
Yeah.
Okay, sir. And so the pellet plants and everything that we are talking about, sir, how long does it take to set it up after we decide on it?
The pellet plant it takes 1.5 to 2 years.
1.5 to 2 years to set it up. And so the current one that we are setting up, sir, that will be online by when, sir?
So this pellet plant should be online by, and that's what, next year. End of next year is what we
End of next year. Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Satinder Singh from Eon Infotech Investments. Please go ahead.
Yeah, good afternoon. So I've got two questions, one around the production and the other around the demand. So you've indicated that it's the endeavor of the management to close this year at par with last year production. Now that will require us to do about 11 million tons in these 2 months. That's about 5.5 million tons average monthly against the 3.8 that we've done in January. So we are talking about 50% up. So how do we reconcile this? So was January production lower because of demand issues? Because otherwise the prices did pick up from the 1st of January. So can you just help reconcile this, that, okay, how is it that we can produce in lesser number of days, February is a shorter month, 5.5 against 3.8 that we've done?
So what happens is that the demand is very strong. So there's nothing with regard to the demand part of it. The demand is very, very strong. We have substantial orders. We just need to load the rakes and ensure that logistics is in place. So that is now the most point here is availability of rakes by railways, which is a matter of concern. We have been talking to them almost on a daily basis, hourly basis, to ensure that the rakes are available for loading. So that is something which we will need to tie up. Otherwise, the production is there, and we only need to evacuate the material. So we are working on it, and it will be our endeavor to ensure that we touch that figure of 42.
The non-availability of rakes also impact production because the production is about 4 million ton or 4.1 or thereabouts.
Yeah, obviously, because what happens is that unless these are the mines, the most difficult part in our place is we don't have place for storing the material. So we need to evacuate if we need to ramp up production. So that is something very crucial for us. We need to, so that is something we'll have to look at.
Understood, sir. The second question is on the international opportunity. So what is the break-even international price at which it starts making sense? You've indicated that by the end of this quarter, the export opportunity should open up. So for example, at our current prices that we have, at which we are selling, which is about 3,910 for fines, INR, what is the corresponding international break-even price at which it starts making sense for us? Let's say Dalian commodity exchange price or whatever.
Sorry. So currently at these prices, it makes absolute. I will not mention the exact figures, but I'll tell you at these prices, it makes absolute sense for us to export material. So $120, there is no doubt that it makes sense for us to export with the current domestic prices in mind. So there is a delta there. Definitely, if we export, the realizations would be better. So that is how
kind of at 120. So what is the delta available to us if 120 were to hold hypothetically?
So I will not get into the numbers. I told you, but definitely there is a good. It looks good for us to export at these prices also.
Okay. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Sumangal Navita from Kotak Securities. Please go ahead.
I just want to clarify. I mean, you said net cash is around 8,000 crores. Is there any borrowing also on the books?
I'll answer that. That's short-term borrowing of 2,000 crores, 2,395 crores. So 8,713 is the cash, and short-term borrowing is 2,395. So we have a net cash of around 6,318 crores.
Got it. The second question is on this acquisition of 10% stake in the steel plant. At what price will it be done? Will it be a book value? Will it be a divestment price of the government or the listed price of the stock?
Amitabh, if you can answer that.
That price has not yet been determined. So it could be anything. It could be book value, it could be transfer value, it could be the discovered price, it could be a concessional rate on that. But the prices, we cannot speculate that because the shares are currently being held by the Government of India. And when the transaction comes to place of transferring those Government of India shares to NMDC, we will have to look at the price then. It's difficult to speculate on the prices of that 10% right now.
Okay, no, I mean, we don't want to know the absolute price, but the method or the methodology that will be used. Is there any?
That has not been finalized.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. We'll move on to the next question. That is from the line of Falguni Datta from Jet 8 Securities Private Limited. Please go ahead.
Yeah, good afternoon, sir. Sir, I just had one question. The listing of NMDC Steel, will it happen by, it should happen in March or it'll take, should be beyond that?
So I already have answered that. We are expecting the listing to happen at the end of this year, this month.
Okay. Thank you, sir. That's all from my side.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Mohammed Farooq from Pearl Capital. Please go ahead.
Okay, thank you again. NMDC is not just an iron ore development company. Please let us know the amount of profit from other resources. Secondly, on the Jammu Kashmir, we recently heard about the lithium discovery. What is the role of NMDC there? Did the NMDC get any new block, iron ore block in the last 3 years other than Donamalai?
So first is the lithium deposit. This is a discovery. It is just inferred resources at this point of time, and this has been by the Geological Society, Geological Survey of India, and the government will take necessary action of exploiting those resources. So currently, NMDC has got nothing to do with that discovery. Number two is with regard to your question of apart from Donimalai, yes, we have got deposit 13, deposit 4, deposit 1, which are in joint venture with NMDC CMDC Limited. You are aware of the current methodology of government which the government works on. It is on an auction basis. All resources are now put on auction. Nothing is on allocation basis. Then we have also got, but however, because of our goodwill or whatever, or we have also got 2 blocks of coal also, which has been allocated to us. We are doing a lot of exploration activities in Madhya Pradesh, where we believe that once we get some sort of, we discover some sort of deposits, then we will talk to the state government for allocation of those resources.
Okay, thank you. What's the projected EPS for this year, full year?
Amitabh?
The current EPS is, I think, I'll just get you the number. Current EPS and 6,000. Just give me a second, please.
Yeah.
The current EPS was around 11 rupees for the 9 months. So, around 15 rupees on the annual basis.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Question is on the line of Kirtan Mehta from BOB Capital Markets. Please go ahead.
Thank you again, sir, for giving the opportunity. I just wanted to confirm the deadline for the screening plant as well as the slurry pipeline. Are you saying that will get commissioned by March 24, or are you saying that it will get commissioned by December 24?
Calendar year, end of calendar year.
So December 24. Thank you.
Thank you. The next question is on the line of Rahul Jain from Systematics. Please go ahead.
Yeah, hi sir. Thanks for taking the question. Sir, also on this monitoring committee receivable, so we had around 28 crores as of March, and another 900 crores which was not due as of 31st March. So around 3,800 crores roughly. What is the status of this? When do we expect to get this money back?
So this matter is with the Supreme Court. We have taken it up with the state government, Karnataka government, but then the matter has been referred to the Supreme Court. We understand that this is under. I should come up very quickly.
So this money you will get, or you think that you will have to forfeit this money?
No, we'll get this money. This is our money.
Right. So there's no dispute on that part, right?
Absolutely no dispute. The Central Empowered Committee has also recommended the case, and it is our money and we'll get it.
Okay. So basically in the next 1 year we should expect something, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Saket Kapoor from Kapoor Company. Please go ahead.
Yeah, Dhanyavad sir for this opportunity again. Sir, you mentioned EPS, likely EPS of in the vicinity of 15 rupees, sir. The voice muffled there.
Yeah, but that would be speculating on the profits of the Q4, which is difficult.
Yeah.
As of now.
But taking into account what the constant number of today's with the production and sales which you are envisaging, that should be the likelihood.
Yeah, so that would be at least not more.
If not more. Okay. Sir, then coming to this export opportunity, sir, herein now we find that the shipping rates have also plunged to even pre-COVID levels. So other than that, sir, where is the demand pillar? Which geographies you are getting? You must have done some work on the basis of which you are commenting on export as an opportunity from this quarter itself. So if you could throw some light, what is how have you concluded, barring the price part, what else have the preparation being? Because earlier, sir, I think so it was only with the treaty with Japan that we were exporting, and we have not done the activity other than not explored the export market, not at all. So your thought on the same?
One sec. So there is definitely a strong demand in export, and most of it is coming from China, as you are aware. So, and China has resumed buying of iron ore. We don't believe. We believe that there is a demand, and we have already explored the opportunity. And once we finalize our methodology or terms, we will go ahead and export. So there is no doubt that there is a demand in export. So.
Thank you, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, due to time constraint, that was our last question. I now hand the conference over to Mr. Amit Dixit for his closing comments.
Yeah, thanks, Lizanne. On behalf of ICICI Securities, I would like to thank everyone for attending this call. I would like to turn this over to the management now for any closing comments. Over to you, sir.
So thank you, everyone, ICICI Securities and the participants. It's been wonderful speaking on our results, and we believe things are looking after a period of in Q1, Q2, things were not looking very great, but then things are looking up. And then the opportunity in exports also. In the past, we have seen some sort of duty which were imposed, and now that has been withdrawn. So we see an opportunity there in exports also, and with our production targets, which we believe we should be able to achieve, I think things are looking very positive, and we will be able to. And with the listing of the steel plant and ultimately separating the company being separated from NMDC, I think things are very positive on with that. Thank you.
Thank you, members of the management team.
Thank you so much.
Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of ICICI Securities, that concludes this conference call. We thank you for joining us, and you may now disconnect your lines. Thank you.